Hi guys, welcome to our last day at Rocky Railway VBS. It has been fun to have everyone riding the rails with us here at Rocky Railway. Here's Father Keith for our last daily point and daily Bible story.
Hi, here we are on day 5, the final day of Vacation Bible School. I can't believe how quickly the week has gone, but we've gotten together each of the 4 days and had a Bible story, a Bible lesson, learned a verse, and here we are at the end of the week. I hope you've had a good time. I hope you've had fun, and I hope you've learned some things. But let's go over those Bible verses one more time. The first day was, I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength. On the second day, it was, be strong and courageous, all you who put your hope in the Lord. Then on the third day, we heard this verse, God gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. And yesterday we learned this, the Spirit of God who raised Jesus from the dead lives in you. Important messages, important words. And now I have a very short lesson for today, a very short lesson from day 5. We hear in the book of Acts, which is the Bible book about the very early years of the new church. We hear about how the very first Christians lived. We are told that they lived their days studying the Bible and gathering together to enjoy one another's company. They broke bread, meaning that they ate together, and they prayed together. They did everything together. In fact, they took care of one another in a way that, well, we might indeed find a little bit strange. But they wanted to make sure that nobody was in need, that nobody had needs that were not met, that nobody was hungry or homeless or without good clothing. And so what they did was anybody who had a house or had land would sell it. And then they'd gather all the money together into one big pot, and they would divide it up to make sure that everybody was cared for. There was not one person among them who was in need, because they all took care of one another and lived for one another. So what's our Bible verse for today? It's this. Love each other in the same way I have loved you. Love each other in the same way as I have loved you. And I'm going to put this one right in the middle, because in many ways, this is the most important lesson that we can ever learn, that we are to love each other in the same way that Jesus has loved us. You know, I wonder what it would be like if we all lived like those very first Christians. If we all lived to serve each other and help one another and pray for each other and be with each other and make sure that people did not go hungry or homeless or have needs that weren't met. What would the church be like if we could live like that? What would the world be like if we could live like that? It's something for us to think about, something for us to try and live up to. It's a goal that we can all do our very best to try and meet. I've really enjoyed being with you over these 5 days. I hope you've had a good time. And so now I'm going to let you go and do your arts and crafts and your activities for the day. This is our final day together. And so I just wanted to thank you for being with me over these past 5 days. Let me tell you a few stories, and hopefully I'll be seeing you in church real soon. Bye.
Our friends Mars and Cam are also back for our last skit of the week.
No, just stay right there. I'll be right back. No, don't worry. I've got it. Just stay right there. Oh!
Wow, Kim, what's going on? You look pretty steamed up. It's almost like you're going off the rails.
You're not helping. It's a train engineer thing. You wouldn't understand.
Oh yeah? Try me. I bet I can track right with you.
Really? You have to stop with the train jokes.
Wait, one more. I'm listening. In fact, I'm all engineers. Okay, really, I'm listening.
Fine. So, two people usually run a steam locomotive. The engineer and the fireman.
A fireman? Like a guy with a big red truck and a Dalmatian?
No, not that kind of fireman. A fireman on a train is the person who shovels coal into the furnace to heat the water in the boiler and make the train go.
I'm tracking so far.
So there's this new fireman on my crew, and he's driving me crazy. He never stops talking. Hey, Cam, what's your favorite color? Mine's purple. How old are you? Wow, that's so old. Were you there when they invented the train? Hey, you want to hear a train joke? What do you call a freight train that's carrying a lot of bubblegum? Huh? A choo-choo train. Isn't that so funny? Cam, why aren't you laughing? You don't like me. Don't worry, I'll make you like me. Here's another joke. How did the train get so good at its job? Because of its training. Get it? Training?
Wait just a minute. You don't sound like you're being a very nice friend to this new guy. In fact, you're being sort of mean by making fun of him.
You just don't understand what it's like to be constantly interrupted while you're trying to work.
Oh, I think I have a pretty good idea of what it looks like. Cam, loving others is such an important part of life. Even when it's hard to be a good friend, you can ask Jesus for his help. Jesus' power helps us be good friends.
But what if someone just won't stop talking?
Jesus' power helps us be good friends. You can pray about it. Ask Jesus for his strength and patience. And for the eyes to see your new crew member the way Jesus sees him. I mean, maybe this guy needs a listening ear. Maybe he's lonely. Sometimes the people who annoy us the most are the ones who need our friendship the most.
Well, we have a long haul ahead of us on our next journey, so I guess I'll get plenty of time to practice being a good friend. I'm going to need Jesus' power. Will you pray for me, just like we talked about?
Of course. We're going to wrap up here, then I'll pray with you before you leave on your trip. Who knows? Maybe Jesus put this new guy in your crew so you can show Jesus' love in exactly the way he needs, like no one else.
Me? A job only I can do? That is so cool. Well, I'm going to finish getting our supplies together while you finish up. Then let's pray. Bye.
And we have one final memory, buddy. Wait till you see who he is.
I heard everyone was steaming ahead with the last day of Rocky Railway. Glad you're here. I'm Lawrence Elk. Not a moose, not a ram, but an excellent elk. Male elks are called bulls, and me and my bull buddies like to hang out way up in the Rocky Mountains. In the winter, we move down where we can find grass. But in the spring and summer, we head for the hills. It's important that we stick together with the herd. Some elk herds are as big as 400 friends. Although my antlers are big and strong, female elk or babies don't have these. And a hungry bear is hard to fight off. Speaking of these amazing antlers, they are pretty incredible if I do say so myself. Sometimes they come in handy when other herds get too close to mine, or I need to show another bull that I'm in charge. Yeah, sometimes we butt heads, even in our happy herd. But I try not to get too attached. Literally, they fall off every year and I grow a new set. How cool is that? God also gave me a unique power to help me communicate with the herd. That's called bugling. It's a little like roaring and whistling at the same time. It keeps my herd close together, where we can be safe. Our herd even has scouts, a few elk who stand watch while others graze. We have to look out for each other. Do you have friends who look out for you? Friends you like to call out to when you're sad or silly, happy or hurting? Or do you sometimes butt heads with your buddies? Maybe you need the power to forgive and love a friend when you're not getting along. You don't have to do that all by yourself. Jesus gives you his power to help be a good friend. Jesus gave this powerful command in the Bible. Love each other in the same way I have loved you. If you're butting heads with your buddies and not getting along, you can trust Jesus' power and follow his words. Jesus' power helps us be good friends. Trust Jesus.
Since Jesus' power helps us to be good friends, let's take our last day and sing Power in the Blood.